What if I told you that in the next 10 minutes you could learn exactly how to rewire your mind with simple affirmations so that anxiety, depression, fear no longer control you? I'm going to give you a breakdown of the psychology of affirmation, explain why you feel stuck, and one simple way to do affirmations in a way that actually works to be able to rebuild a powerful and resilient mind. Number one, why you actually feel stuck. Most people dealing with some kind of anxiety, depression, PTSD, they all feel trapped. Like their emotions are out of their own control. And that's not entirely your fault. Your brain is designed to prioritize survival over happiness. It latches onto threats and replays past pain. It recreates patterns to keep you safe, even if that means keeping you stuck. Because your subconscious oftentimes views survival and maintaining consistency as the same thing, even if what's being consistent isn't actually your favorite thing. Why is it that we maintain our negative memories more than our positive memories? Why is it that our negative memories affect us longer? And it's because the negative memories actually have something to do with your survival, and the positive ones don't. There was no survival threat during a positive memory, and so we don't hold on to it the same. We hold on to the negative ones because it's a way that we see ourselves preventing future threats. Here's part of the problem is your brain doesn't know the difference between a real threat and a psychological threat. A real threat or a perceived threat. So because we're not being attacked by lions, it sees rejection in the same exact way. It treats failure or rejection like it's a death sentence. Because primitively, rejection was a death sentence. We're tribal animals, and so part of our brain has learned, okay, if I stick with the pack, then I'm good. If I'm rejected from the pack, if I'm kicked out of the tribe, our brain has evolved to crave approval, to crave being part of the group. That's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just the way that things are, and so we perceive it as a threat, even though if you get rejected, truth is, you're going to be okay, right? And we logically understand that we're going to be okay, but subconsciously, deep down emotionally, we still feel like we're being threatened by that rejection. The truth about rewiring your mind is a perspective shift. A lot of traditional advice tells you to just think positive or just let go of the past, just relax. That's kind of like telling somebody who's drowning to just swim. The real problem isn't your thoughts, it's the subconscious programming behind those thoughts. Your mind is like a garden, and it's been filled with weeds of fear and self-doubt over years and years and years. And you can't just wish them away suddenly by thinking positive once. You have to uproot those negative weeds and plant something new. And that's exactly what I'm about to show you. How to rewrite the script in your mind so that your default state is one of more power, confidence, gratitude, peace, and self-assurance. The 3-step mental rebuild. Provide a framework. This is something that I like to teach to a lot of my clients to reprogram the lens that you're seeing through. Your mind filters reality based on its past experiences, right? That's called your paradigm. I like to call it a template. As a template for the way the world looks. If you failed in the past, then it's going to expect failure in the future. It says, if this, then this. If this happens, then this happens, because when that happened last time, that's the way it went. So if you've failed, expect failure. If you've been hurt, expect hurt. If your relationships haven't worked in the past, expect more future relationships that don't work. So here's a quick exercise. For the next 24 hours, I want you to question every negative thought that comes to mind. And instead of saying the thought, instead of giving it credence, like, oh, I always mess up, ask instead, what if I succeed this time? Shift your focus from fear to possibility. It's easy to fall into a negative what if spiral where we say, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if I fail? What if I mess up? But we want to be very intentional this time for the next 24 hours about creating positive what ifs to counteract and override the negative thoughts. Here are some examples of some positive what ifs. Instead of saying, what if I mess up? We say, what if it turns out really well? What if I surprise myself? I like to say the phrase, what if things turn out better than I even planned? Break the emotional repetition cycle. Anxiety and depression thrive on repetition. If you keep replaying old pain, your brain wires it in deeper. It creates custom neural pathways to the repetition of the anxiety and the depression so that it becomes easier and easier. The brain says, oh, you think this thought every single day. Let's just make it easier so that it doesn't take any effort and it just comes natural. Again, your brain wires it in deeper. But you can interrupt that cycle. When an overwhelming thought or anxious thought, fearful thought hits, instead of engaging with it, physically move, stand up, shake out of your body, take a deep breath, interrupt the loop before it strengthens. Change your environment. That's a big piece of this. Change your environment. I've said this in the past. If your thoughts are getting negative, if you're starting to feel depressed, if you're starting to feel rough, just get moving. Go for a walk. Not that you can't feel depressed when you're outside moving or going to the gym. but it's a lot less common. If your body language is that of a depressed person, then change your body language. Change your body language to that of a confident person. Just the other day, I could feel myself feeling overwhelmed. I was feeling really stressed. I could feel my thoughts getting really negative. So I turned to my wife and I was like, listen, we're going to a trampoline park. And at first she said, I guess it's not the first thing I want to do. And I said, honestly, same, but we're going to go anyway. And we changed the environment. We got moving. We went to a trampoline park. And honestly, both of us, especially me, we were kind of low energy. And we didn't stay at the trampoline park very long, but afterward, we both felt considerably better because we had changed the environment, because we got moving. Number 3 is establish and speak the identity that you want to become. Your words shape your reality. That lens we're talking about, it's built by repeated exposure. And so it was built with negative lenses because of repeated exposure saying, I'm broken, I'm broken, I'm broken. Now we want to create a new lens through which you can see the world with something positive. So if you say, I'm broken, your brain's going to believe it and seek out evidence to prove it true. But if you say, I'm healing, I'm unshakable, I'm in control, your brain starts to align with that truth. Not all the time, and I'm going to create another video. The next video that comes out is going to be about what to do if saying positive affirmations frustrates you because you feel like you're just lying to yourself. Okay, but for now, just catch the negative thoughts. Recognize those negative thoughts. Start asking yourself positive what-if questions and create an identity that you want to align with. I am helping. I am a helpful person. I am unshakable. I am healing. I am in control, right? So that your brain can start aligning with that truth. So for the next 24 hours, I want you to say these 3 things aloud. I choose confidence. I choose peace. I choose to take my power back. I choose to reclaim my agency. Something along those lines. Something that doesn't trigger you and makes you feel like it's a lie, but also something that brings you power and agency so that you can choose the way that you feel and you aren't a victim to your emotions. It sounds simple, but consistent repetition will rewire the mind. So if you take nothing else from this video, take this. You are not your past. You are not your fears. You are capable of rewiring your mind and creating a new reality starting right now. If this resonated with you, don't just listen, apply it. And if you want more strategies like this, make sure you're subscribed because I'm going to go deeper into the transformations in upcoming videos. Feel free to leave any thoughts in the comments. Comment below on how you're going to start shifting today. Make this one real. Let's build something unshakable together. You got this.